Starting off with the acceleration, we wanted to pause this frame real quick for you guys to show what it actually looks like to project your hips and push out on your start versus just kind of falling forward. So as you can see here, we got these angles lined up already for you guys because it takes the time to set up. So key parts you want to see is on the top athlete in the orange hoodie that they have a larger angle of 42 degrees versus a 36. But the key concept is you want to see the posture, the individual's posture. It should look pretty similar to that straight line. So as you can see, his chest is out in front. He's really falling forward, causing him to really step in a downward fashion. So meaning, like, you can see his front shin, which we'll get to in a second, is going to be ready to press down instead of back. So as opposed to this athlete in the bottom, you can tell that his shin angle of his front leg essentially matches that green arrow almost, and they almost run in parallel like that. So obviously you can tell they cross over a little bit, but they're a lot more parallel as opposed to this one, where here we can tell it's more straight up, straight down, and that those two lines will collide a lot sooner. So that's a big part, number one. Number two is obviously the posture is he's falling down and leaning over, so he's breaking at the waist, causing his hips to actually slide backwards in that fashion. You can tell they're back, and he's falling over at that point. Where this athlete, his hips are pushed forward, he's fully extended off that back right leg on the bottom, and again, he's really getting his hips out, but he's also maintaining his posture. He doesn't feel like he's falling, so that's going to allow him to strike back through the floor through this foot, versus this athlete over here. I'll clear all these. You can tell he's ready to step straight down into the ground. Again, just so you guys can see, as this athlete's foot over here, he's ready to hammer back into the ground, which again is going to slingshot and cause him to drive forward. So again, that's just the importance of posture and the angles on the start, and make sure you pay attention to the next couple videos as well. Heading back to the start real quick for you guys, what you want to notice is we'll focus on the top athlete first up here. So again, real quick, what you want to notice is as they push out, you can see he kind of raises up. He raises up immediately. His chest pops up, again, as opposed to getting out. So now what you want to see now, again, down here, is in this bottom athlete, as he pushes, you can see his force takes him forward as opposed to up, or at least a big difference between the two. So again, that's the importance of pushing back and having a really big horizontal force. So again, horizontal going that way, back, as opposed to up type of force. So now you can tell this really come out on their first step. So number one, let's look at the foot contact. So right about there. So almost the same distance off that first start, again, depending how they have their block set up, but same distance, but you can see when the foot strikes the floor, what are the shin angles at? You can tell right here that this athlete, you can see how far his toe is behind his knee. Oh, that's a terrible line. Sorry. So you can just tell how far his toe is behind his knee versus this athlete, his toe is almost right under his knee. So the bottom athlete here in the situation is going to be applying a lot more horizontal force, causing him to get down the track faster and also maintain an angle. Okay, so he strikes back behind him, and again, his second foot, let's see it as well, second foot contact, again, a little bit more upright, but you can still tell vaguely that his toe is right behind his knee just a little bit, and he's actually on the ground quicker as well versus the athlete in the top. You can tell obviously his steps will get a lot more vertical as well, but it's almost directly in front of, or directly underneath, almost in front of. And the last thing to talk about the posture in this situation for you guys is that you can tell this top athlete in the situation that he's still running like bent over at the waist. So it's like he's running when he's folding over at the hips. And what this is going to do, it's going to give him the false security or false sense that he's running and staying low and driving and accelerating, when he's really just folding. He's really just running with his hips folded in half, as you guys can tell when he takes off. So let's just run one back full speed for you guys. Here we go. driving out. And you can even tell if this was a race who would get where quicker. So let's see, the bottom athlete is crossing the white line now, and the top athlete still have a whole nother step to go. So he beat him by an entire stride. So that's just how it comes out, manifests itself. So getting that more horizontal force, being able to push back, maintaining posture, maintaining force output, maintaining those good angles. Again, this really comes down to that posture and running over with the bent hips, with the false sense of feeling like you're getting low. Thanks for checking it out.